You say there isn't there isn't a driver shortage. If you're out there dealing with it every day, yeah, there is.
What's going on, Mutha Truckers? Welcome to Mutha Trucker News. Email us at muthatruckernews@gmail.com. You know, we always talk about all the situations and regulations that happen in trucking and why does it seem that they get a lot of false information? And this is a reason right here, and this is not a call out to Congressman Michael Bost, but from Illinois. But this is something that I say that he is ill-informed. You know, he grew up in the trucking business. His family's in trucking. His brother has taken over the family business, I believe, now that he's congressman. But he gets a lot of his information from there. And so he gets a lot of things right. Like there is a truck parking shortage, and he wants to fight for bills and regulations and laws that help build more parking for truckers.
I'm on the Transportation Infrastructure Committee, I'm on VA Committee, and I'm the chairman of the Veteran Affairs Committee from deep Southern Illinois. Represent the bottom 1/3 of the state of Illinois. Grew up in a family trucking business, so that's with this issue why it is important. I grew up driving my first truck across the lot at 9 years old, and drove my first inloader through the side of the new garage at about 6. You drive the interstates of this nation, and you get out on the interstate, you realize that trucks are not only parking in the rest areas or the truck stops, they're parking on the off ramps. They're parking on the on-ramps. They're parking along the shoulder because going into the rest areas because there's not enough spots. Actually, a study was done in 2001 that they knew there was not enough spots with the growing industry the way it is. And not only that, now since the electronic logbooks have been put in place and there is it doesn't allow for a lot of common sense. It has to do with the computer telling you you've got to shut down or you're going to be charged. Okay, so you spend, it's reported that drivers right now spend about 45 minutes a day of their normal work day searching for a parking spot to try to get their hour, get off the truck, get off in time for the hours of service.
Recently at this Transportation Infrastructure Committee, and he's one on the board of it, you know, he feels strongly that there is a trucker shortage.
You say there isn't there isn't a driver shortage. If you're out there dealing with it every day, yeah, there is. And the question the only statement I would make towards that is, and I made it in this committee before, it doesn't help with all the states that are, because what happens is we have a tremendous amount of people who might be good drivers, but they prefer to smoke dope on the weekend and they can't get clean by Monday. It's not like having a beer on Sunday during a football game. You pop positive for 30 days and then you're without that driver, or you just don't have that driver. But
yeah,
you know, Mr. Tucker, that is a lobbyist actually for the freight brokerages, right, and 3PLs. He says that there isn't a trucker shortage, and that's the one time I'm going to say I definitely agree with a freight broker on something like that.
I think what I've been fortunate enough to be getting and keeping data on the active for hire motor carriers for 12 years now, and I'm one of the only organizations that publish this data on a regular basis. So there are over 1 million more drivers than driving today than there were in 2011. There are more than 2 times as many. There are about approximately 350,000 motor carriers in business today, 148,000 in 2011. So generally speaking, there are wicked driver shortages if you're a carrier of any large size, but it's because drivers follow the American dream. J.B. Hunt was a driver. Now it's one of the largest trucking organizations. So there's a spirit of innovation in truck driving, and that's where drivers are going.
And he says, no, there is a trucker shortage, and he sees it himself. So why is he led to believe this, right? Is he taking sources from the ATA because they say there's a trucker shortage? Is he taking it from his family business? And if he is, then possibly they're not paying well enough because there is not a trucker shortage. The reason why is because people want to get paid fairly. And when they hear that you don't treat your drivers right and you don't pay fairly, they don't leave the trucking industry. They just go and find someone that's going to pay them fairly, right? What he suggests is that everybody that would be a good driver is smoking dope, and because of it, can't drive a truck. I don't believe that to be true, right? I'm not saying that they're not doing that here and there. I'm not saying that at all, but I'm not saying that. I definitely don't think that there's a trucker shortage because all these drivers aren't able to drive a truck because on the weekend they rather be on dope or something. It just doesn't make sense. But that's his thought process. And because of that and him leading and being on chairman and boards of all this that help make rules and regulations that jump down to the FMCSA, these are the problems. So I would tell you this, if you get an opportunity, please message out to Michael Boss and say, look, there is not a trucker shortage. 100% not a trucker shortage. Definitely a lack of pay, right? And there's a lack of experience as well. But, at the end of it, I just want to bring that to Mr. Michael Boss' attention, that if you read these comments, and I'm going to send this to you, sir, there's not a trucker shortage. So my trucker's comment down below.